pumping away every heartbeat. The health of your heart is massively influenced by your diet and lifestyle. 36-year-old Stephen Hall runs his own gastro pub. He moved from London to Cheltenham to escape the rat race, but it followed him there. He runs the pub with his wife, Becky. Stephen's the chef. The stress in Stephen's life is obvious to him and everyone around him.
3-4, how do I work that one out? 3-4? Yeah. Can't fucking add up either. I drink a lot more than I used to. I binge smoke, like I won't have a cigarette all week, and I had about 40 on Saturday night.
And a bottle of red wine to yourself.
Yeah, and drink copious amounts of alcohol, and then like I eat like chocolate, like bags of chocolate, and eat it until I feel quite sick. Bizarrely, I've now stopped to kid myself. Whereas before I was like, still young, but I'm not. I'm staring 40 down a barrel and, need to do something or some things to help it, because I don't want to die young.
Stephen's right to be worried. We've seen what our hearts look like from the outside, but there's much more to see inside. This is a heart. It's actually a pig's heart, but it's about the same size as a human heart. And it's one big muscle contracting to pump the blood around your body, contracting 70 times a minute for every minute of your life. The contractions are sparked off by the heart's own pacemaker. It's a little bunch of cells that creates a wave of electricity, which spreads across the heart, making all the muscle cells twitch together. But it's not the muscle contraction that makes the all too familiar sound. If I listen to my heart, I'm going to hear something a bit different. I can hear two sounds going lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub. And it's not the contraction of the heart or the wave of pressure that I'm hearing now. It's actually the closing of the valves inside. I'm using ultrasound to see my heart valves, and Kelly's here to help me. So we've got the 4 chambers of my heart here, upside down. These are the 2 atria, and here are the 2 ventricles. That's the left atrium just there, and that's the mitral valve opening into the left ventricle. And you can see it opening. So as the atrium is contracting, it's pumping the blood through. You can see it opening and shutting on every heartbeat. This is wonderful because, I'm an anatomist. I know what the heart looks like. But to see my own heart actually working and the valves opening and shutting is just fantastic. But what do those valves look like in the flesh? And you can just see the edge of that valve. And there are little strings attached to it, holding the edges of the valve down. So these are the heartstrings. The heart really does have heartstrings. Stephen swapped his chef's apron for a lab coat. I've invited him to my lab so he can understand why his heart is worth looking after. This is the left ventricle just here. So I cut into that gently, carefully. I'm not through it yet. I can't feel the hole in the middle. You can see how deep the blade's going in. I'm just in. I should be able to open that up. Just look at that. That's the thickness of that ventricle wall. Well, it is in this pig heart. It's just the same in a human heart. You've got this incredibly thick muscle wall on the left-hand side, pumping the blood out around the body, and this thinner-walled ventricle on the right-hand side, pumping the blood out to the lungs. Can you see that sort of membrane?
Yeah.
That's all part of the valve, just there.
So if that wasn't working, you'd be done.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, that's one of the things that happens. If you have a heart attack and it damages sort of the muscle here, then the blood is going to be able to rush backwards through that valve every time the heart pumps. I would like Stephen to seriously think about changes he can make to his lifestyle to protect his heart. Heart attacks are caused when the heart's own arteries get blocked, and major factors causing this are smoking, poor diet, obesity, and stress. Smoking is one of the most damaging things you can do to your heart. It makes your arteries flare up on the inside and your blood more likely to clot. Stephen's smoking a lot, and he's stressed as well.
The pub trade is like a restaurant trade. You know, you're only as good as your last service. And when I'm not fresh and when I'm stressed, the business suffers. And it's a vicious circle, because when the business suffers, I get stressed and then I'm not fresh.
When we're stressed, our adrenal glands produce adrenaline and another hormone called cortisol. This increases blood sugar and blood pressure, which is okay in the short term, but if your cortisol levels stay high, it's very bad news for the heart. So what about Stephen's cortisol levels? He certainly looks stressed on the outside, and after a heavy night, he's not on sparkling form.
How much do you think you drank last night?
About 3 bottles of red, 2 pints, some tequila. A lot.
Over the course of a busy day, we're measuring Stephen's blood pressure and cortisol levels every 2 hours. Despite his hangover, Stephen's cooking 70 meals in 3 hours, and it isn't easy.
We sold 36. Chickens, how many chickens are it? 8.
8 chickens.
We haven't got any food.
Steve, on table 33, can the chicken have a Yorkshire pudding, please?
No. If I had some, you could have it, Holly, believe me. But I don't have them.
We'll come back to the results later.
Hey.
Stephen does try to tackle his stress levels and keep his heart healthy.
I'll run around like an idiot for 5 minutes and probably hack my guts up and come off. If I'm not asked to leave before that, it can look quite embarrassing. Or so I've been told, you know. It's like, give up fatty, I hear sometimes.
Oh, no.